we back?
We are back.
John!
Hey.
What's up? John Cuellar, comedian and podcaster.
Hey there. How's it going, guys? How are you guys today?
Good. How you doing,
man.
brother?
Awesome.
Not bad. I just got out of the day job a little while ago, and I'm trying to decompress, so I started that off by listening to your fine show.
Thank you.
Awesome.
What,
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not to be a Budinsky. I'm wondering... I'm kind of ignorant. Could you explain the Slammy thing to me?
Oh, yes. That was the Slammy Awards, the first annual. We presented 3 great American patriots, and they all were faced with adversities, and adversities, and they overcame, and they sharded all over the mouth of their adversaries.
Oh, nice. That's how one gets a Slammy Award.
Yes, you gotta slam your competition. One was I don't know if you saw Big Joe from the women's protest. He was the big guy.
Yeah.
He just basically he shut that whole mob up with his speech.
Was there a lot of back and forth? Was there, or did he just drop one thing and it just kind of, there wasn't really it was a non-replyable.
There was a lot of back and forth. Different people were approaching him with all sorts of shit, and he just kept screaming truths at them, and they shut up.
Yeah, towards the end they started to shut up, but there were still people running in and just talking over him and not listening to anything he was saying.
He made some amazing points, and then our other one was Seth MacFarlane. He made a song in Family Guy.
Ah, the guy who came up with Spawn, right?
It was about the Punisher. And then it was our one friend, he's a comedian, Steven Spinola. He tweeted about Barron Trump. And he won the Slammy Award.
He said Barron Trump looks like a handsome date rapist.
A very handsome date
rapist to be, and he has been getting just death
threats
the past 2 weeks.
Yes, you know what? I'll be the first on your show to say that I don't think it's right to say he's a date rapist. He's more of a play date rapist. He's younger.
I'm gonna clip that up and tweet it out. John Cuellar says.
Nice.
From potential problems podcast
on the Rob and Slim Show, we're definitely getting in on this. We're getting this Barron Trump money.
What do you guys think of that whole Barron's off limits thing? There was someone that I was talking to. I mentioned him in passing conversation, and they know I make jokes, and right away they put their hand up and they're like, "No Barron Trump," and I was like, "Well, dude, come on." I was just making a conversation, but a lot of people...
I never heard this shit. Kids are off limits of the president. When did that happen?
Nobody's off limits.
I don't think anything that people say is really going to... Because they're making it seem like it's mental abuse and it's going to ruin Barron Trump, and I don't feel like that's going to happen at all.
He doesn't give a fuck.
Should I...
Yeah, at the group call. Rob and Slim Show.
I'd just like to say that John is fired from the Potential Problems podcast for his inflammatory statement for Barron Trump. Goodbye.
That's okay. We fired Lamborghini last week, and he came back, John.
Yeah,
so you just go back, bro.
Drifted back in.
What was that, John?
It's just a trick to get me to blow someone again. Every month I gotta re-up my membership, quote unquote. Sorry to bring that onto your show, guys. You shouldn't be having to witness how Alan and I negotiate our contract.
That should be off the air.
Yes, exactly.
How you guys doing, bro? You hit how many shows do you guys? 201 episodes.
We hit 200, and that was kind of monumental in itself, just being able to have the consistency to reach 200 and not, to push through the points when, and you guys probably know this just as well as any other broadcaster or podcaster out there, sometimes you come in and you think about it and you're like, why am I doing this?
Even today, I'm I'm not in a funny mood. I'm just, what am I going to do today? There's so many days like that, bro.
And especially, I think if it's not your primary source of income, most of us are family family men, or we got bills to pay, or we got to have some other gig that's bringing in a lot of the cash in a lot of instances. And so trying to get this thing that you really like to do just because you have a passion for it, trying to always stay fresh with it, always keep that drive there. That's one of those things that it's sometimes not every day is it there when you show up to do the show, but you got to just be able to kind of make it be there or just fight through that. And I think that was one of the things that I've been really proud of Potential Problems, because sometimes that's half the battle, as they say,
Like you said, the passion, it's kind of like you can only fail at what you hate. If you have that passion, you will get through it.
It'll carry you through, yeah, definitely. We also recently hit 20,000 downloads, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
And it's kind of not a huge number, I don't think. I don't know how those numbers are comparatively, but it's something that when Alan and I started doing the podcast, we never even thought, we'd get 20.
I think it's amazing. I'm going to look at ours right now. I think it's about 500, I think, just for our downloads.
No, it's got to be more than ours.
Well, that's the thing, like, we do, like, I'm just going off SoundCloud. Like, we have a lot of other places that bring in listens and downloads, but, like, SoundCloud, the stats are shitty, but, yeah, like I'm saying, just off SoundCloud, like, on overall plays, let's see, blah, 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 overall plays are like 40,000, overall downloads are 821. So,
well, there you go. Maybe it's overall plays I'm thinking of. Alan has the numbers, but
either way,
I was whatever it was, I was pretty proud of it. Just and it's weird to say that,
yeah,
almost, but it's cool. I was very appreciative of the listeners. What's up with this new? Are you on a new platform? Are you guys on a new network, or what are you guys doing with with IPM Nation? Is that what it is? Or
that's been for a while. I mentioned that to Alan earlier when I got on, when we got on there. It's a live platform, and we get about 3,000 listens per show on there. And I mentioned to Alan when I got on there, how to get in touch with the guy and all that. I don't know if he ever considered it.
No, he never brought it up. In fact, he said that he wanted to take every show we've ever done and just erase it. I'm pulling your leg. He did actually. He did bring it up, and I think I was probably a little stoned and he forgot about it. But the cool thing about it is that now I'm listening to your show, and you guys are getting me all excited. I got a big network boner for your new network.
Hard-throbbing network boner. They're the best.
Yeah, the IPM Nation is great. The guy that owns it is a really nice guy.
Such a cool
keeps
guy.
in touch with us and doesn't control anything.
That was it. One of the first thing I said, because I looked into a few of these. I forget what the one was. Some network, but they wanted your show to be on their SoundCloud and shit. I forget, the AM network.
Yeah.
So when I started talking to Matt from IPM, I was like, anything like that? He's like, no. And I was like, cool, we're in then. I was like, are you gonna try to tell us what we can and can't do? He's like, no. I'm like, cool. It's awesome.
It's just very helpful too. If we need anything, he's always takes care of whatever. He's great.
Yeah.
Well, and it seems like you knew to ask that question about if you'd have to be under like one umbrella of an account of their content, but that's not something everyone would know to ask. So It's interesting that you had that foresight to ask about it. Had you been in a situation before where you'd seen other podcasters under like one umbrella of content on SoundCloud or?
It was that network, how they said they wanted your show on their SoundCloud, and there was one other thing we were talking about with somebody, and they wanted us to be like a spin-off of some other show. They wanted us to start doing all these bits that would I don't know, be a spin-off of another show.
It's
and I'm
also
like, no.
I think especially
Yuck.
I think also, especially for Rob being like a fan of radio, you just kind of like, you've seen all this already. So
Either you've seen it or you've heard it. Yeah, like what's the underlying deal here? Like, same with like sponsors. Like, I don't ever want to be told what I can or can't say. Like, that's never gonna fly.
No, I think it's one of the things that I love, not to bring up other shows, but one of the things that I really used to dig about the old O&A shows was that the live Steven Seagal reads. Oh my God, those were fucking hilarious.
Those and Ron and Fez did some cool ones.
Go ahead.
Ron and Fez did some really cool live reads. Too.
Did they? Were they hilarious too, man?
Yeah, fucking what was it? I forget what. There was like some backup company, like it would back up all your computer info, and Ronnie would just go into the fact that they cure cancer and they stop burglars and shit. They cured AIDS and everything like that. He had some fucking great reads. Steven Singer, oh man.
When you have someone who's a cool sponsor like that, and you hear him on the show, and you're like, "Whoa, this guy, he's like got a sense of humor. That's cool." But I know that some other products might not be as cool if you give them like a cool live read. Like I remember there was one time Opie was doing a live read of they had this product that made your semen taste like fruit or something like that. Do you guys remember that?
I don't remember that one.
And then like in the middle of the live read, he's like, "Is this the only product we can get on this show? Is that it? Is that all we can get now?" Like,
I remember
be happy with it.
When they were on FM on WNEW, and one of their ads were for XM radio, and he got mad in the middle of the read and was screaming he's not going to do ads for the competition. They cut him. They cut him right away. They went to commercial.
Really?
Yeah, that was a cool one.
How do you guys come down on that whole Opie thing? Do you guys think he's a little bit crazy?
Yeah. We heard a lot of people too for a while, like, "Oh, it's just a bit, it's just an act," but I don't think so, man.
It's just the whole situation is weird.
What does he even do anymore?
He has his own show now
on that same station.
But they changed the channel though, but it's like I think he's in the afternoon. I think Jimmy and Sam went to another channel or something.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, if they were all still on the same channel.
The whole thing is just like a shit show. I don't even know. And then so I was listening to Jimmy and Sam a little bit when they first started, and then they were going back and forth with the drama. It's just like, you guys are adults. Just I don't know.
It's funny when that happens. I mean, I told you that you asked what I was doing, and I said I just got out of work. I just I had to decompress, and part of the reason I had to decompress is because we had a little meeting today in the boss's office. And it's bad when you guys ever go into the boss's office and they have the boss, they have the person that there's the conflict with, and then they have HR there. They have human resources there
with the
to mediate.
Oh, yeah, well, they're the worst. A glorified secretary, they are.
Yeah, it was really nuts because I try and be a really intelligent and nice person, but it's always interesting when someone kind of either backs you into a corner, or when you get defensive. There's this human response that we all kind of get. It's really hard to overcome, and sometimes you just get pissed over nothing, or you get kind of defensive when you shouldn't be. So it's always kind of interesting reacting with that human emotion when it comes to that sort of conflict,
It always comes down to that, like when you feel like you've been doing more than enough, you're doing all you can, and then they come at you over some little bullshit that they feel you didn't do right. It's not even something that really even matters half the time, and then you feel like you're being insulted and you're being backed to the corner, and everyone's trying to gang up on you.
Pretty much. I mean, if you guys, I'm sorry, I'm not. I know I'm asking you guys the questions. That's because I fucking love you guys. You guys are great to talk to, man. But if you guys had a situation within your podcast where you guys not necessarily felt someone was doing more, but just where you guys kind of had to take a break or for a bit. I mean, Ellen and I kind of ran into that a year and a half ago. We took a break and then we started up again. Have you guys run into that?
We had once. I wanted to do. About that, right? I wanted to do a bit, and Slim, I don't know, thought it was stupid, and we argued. It wasn't on the show, but then we talked about it on the show, and we hashed it out. But besides that, we do take like some pretty normal breaks that I think help a lot. Like every time my kids come up for the summer, we take the couple months off, and when they're up for the holidays, we'll take that week off. So I think that really helps, taking certain amounts of time off, because by the time the spring comes, bro, I'm like, I can't wait for that summer break.
Yeah, I got you.
What What has been the best moment you've had over the 201 shows? What's been the most fun you've had on an episode?
Gosh, that's a tough one. That's like trying to pick out, your favorite kid that you'd like to send on a play date with Barron Trump.
We'll send you, Pete.
All right.
Pretty much, this is going to sound like a cop-out, but pretty much any show where it's just an hour of friends or people making conversation, enjoying each other's company, and just getting to know each other and giving other people a window into that conversation. That's any show like that where afterwards for instance, this past week was one of the shows where we just had great content throughout the entire show, and it was mostly just conversational, but it was because a lot of us have worked together as comics. And so to me, those moments where you capture where there's just pure conversation, pure interaction, and it's just really you kind of get a sense of what's going on between those two people, a genuine sense. To me, any show that features a lot of that is going to be my favorite show, and that was one of them last week. We had our New Year's Eve episode. We had just so many of them where I've sat back and been like, well, I'm really lucky to work with Alan and to know all these great local comics that we have on and some of the national people that come through. So sounds like a bullshit answer, but I guess anyone that I enjoy,
Yeah. I was going to ask too, I know Alan on his show, Alan Clark's show, he had
we can't talk about his show.
I know he's had people come at him. You can't talk about it.
Before we did this interview, we must not mention the AC show.
Oh, you got to cut that out, Slim. But I was going to ask, on the Potential Problem show, have you had any conflict with any groups? Because I know he's gotten some on his AC hour. But
he went at it with the flat earthers.
Yeah, I still love that whole thing, man. But I didn't know if you guys on Potential Problems have pissed off any groups or had anyone come at you.
You know what? There is this local, I don't want to call him a comic. He's more of a local wacko. He did a couple of the open mics, and he knew a couple of the comics. And I even was friends with him. And some goes back to this conflict. Some conflict happened on Facebook. He said, why am I not getting gigs? And people are like, who are you? We don't know who you are. You don't come out to the mics. No one knows you. And so he took offense to that. And we talked about it on the show. And him and I used to be friends. He used to front me a little weed,
Yeah.
And can I say that on this show?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, good.
Slammy, you want the guy's number?
Yeah, you mean something.
Just don't drop my name, otherwise he won't call back. But he used to front me every once in a while, so we're good like that. But after that happened, Ellen and I talked about it on the podcast. And the next thing I know, he starts sending me these crazy messages, calling me a monkey-faced motherfucker. Or he called A to the C a monkey-faced motherfucker, which is interesting because he does not. The two of us, he does not look like a monkey. But and then every once in a while, I just wake up to his fucking text on my phone. Hey, you monkey-faced motherfucker. Congratulations on Potential Problems podcast. I'm like, whoa, that's an interesting congratulations.
I would read those as as part of, this is what the fans are saying.
Oh, yeah. Well, we posted it on Facebook, so that might have had something to do with it.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, we've caught, some stuff here and there. Not from any groups, I guess, just from individuals. It's been more stuff like that. Hey, why'd you say that? And then sometimes, do you guys forget sometimes that people listen to what you say? They bring it up in conversation. They're like, oh yeah, what about that show where you talked about something really disgusting, and I'd insert whatever content. And
I'm like, why? I said that half the time. I don't even remember I said that shit.
Exactly.
Sometimes even going back and listening to like a clip of ours, I'm like, wait, I said that? That's fucking funny. Like,
I couldn't even tell you what we.
Too.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what we talked about last week. Like,
right? That's half the time. I'm like, yeah, I have my notes, so by the time the show goes up, I use my notes to put in what we talked about. But yeah, half the time I don't fucking remember everything. I'll go back, I'll listen to a couple clips here and there, and that's that, man.
Yeah, it's you kind of do it and then you forget about it. But then there's also those moments where you might come back to the same subject, and I've noticed this on other shows too, and they'll drop into the same conversation kind of again, and then you have that sense, didn't we already talk about this?
Yeah, I try to stay away from that. I that's one thing I kind of try to be careful with.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I mean, if you're going spontaneously and you're just running through conversation, it's bound to happen every once in a while. But most of the time, you pick up on it and you're like, we already talked about this. This is what's happened since then.
It's like Slambo's boar
I was
hunting.
gonna say
Holy
we haven't
shit,
we
Slim
haven't
hasn't
brought that
shut
up.
about
we
this
haven't
shit.
we haven't brought up Slam Lamborghini's boar hunting trip.
I was going to ask John, being in New Mexico, are you guys afraid of Trump trying to wall you guys in? Because he's getting crazy, bro.
Have you seen those? There's a lot of internet traffic out there with. I believe there's a meme with the wall extended, along the southern border, but to exclude New Mexico, implying that Trump is ignorant of the fact that there's a New Mexico and a Mexico.
Right? I don't know if he realizes the difference.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If it's Sean Spicer, he could. If it's Trump, for all we know, Trump could send out Spicer next week and be like, "There is only one Mexico, no New Mexico or Mexico. It's just Mexico."
He might rename you
no
guys.
question.
You might get a sweet new name like Barronville or something.
Hopefully.
Future date
you know
rapesville.
that whole wall thing, I don't know, is it feasible? Like I see so much stuff that's like, oh, we could totally do it, but then I see a bunch of other stuff that's like, it's going to cost $300 billion to build one tiny section.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I say we hire them to do it, though. They work cheap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, I have this joke, and not to drop my jokes here, but it seems to go over well at the end of the show is to mention that, hey, I just got a job building a wall for a guy named Trump, but I got to get the fuck on the other side of the wall as soon as I drop that last brick, so it's not that great,
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy times, dude. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I know we're closer to the doomsday clock.
Yes.
I saw
They
that.
moved it up, yes, huh?
The scientists have determined
The Scientologists.
that because Trump is president, we're closer to doomsday.
Are they ever going to roll that fucker back? I mean, is it
Right?
just going to keep moving slower and slower?
That's what I wondered.
When I said when it reaches midnight and nothing happens, they're gonna be like, all right, let's just start over.
What about daylight savings time? Does that fucking come into play over there?
Yeah, no shit, huh? And if it does hit midnight, and it's going to be like they're going to have to just do it. Like if there's a button somewhere for them to press, they'll just press it and be like, "Fuck it, it's midnight. What are we waiting for?"
We said it happened, so it happened.
How long have you guys been doing your show for now? About 3-4 years?
3 years with this one, I think.
Yeah.
We're on our third.
Little over
We've
3.
been doing a show together for 4.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's interesting the way we kind of met each other, how we had interaction between the shows, and once you make friends on Facebook, you realize that these voices that they're people with families very similar to yours, and it's really cool that you see them to watch you guys progress in your podcast and see all the cool stuff you guys have done. So it's awesome to have that kind of camaraderie between podcasters.
Same
I
with
do
you guys.
appreciate that.
Just like talking to Alan over the years, all the different stuff he's started and done, like and like having you back the second time, it's great, dude. It's great to build those relationships, like you said.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of that within the online podcast community. It seems everybody is generally pretty happy to have these kind of acquaintances,
Yeah, I agree, dude. Definitely. John, thank you so much for talking to us, bro. We have to wrap it up, but where can everybody find you?
Oh, yes. You can check out Potential Problems Podcast every Saturday on the YouTubes, also on SoundCloud and iTunes. Look for it under Carl Norton Films on YouTube, and just search Potential Problems Podcast. On Twitter, I'm at J. Cuellar Comedy. I have a very prestigious following, which includes the porn star Ms. Jada Stevens, who does interracial porn. But she's an awesome lady, and I love her. No matter how many dicks she's taken, I will always love her. She's the only woman. I love you, babe. And you can check me out if you're in Albuquerque, or if you ever come to Albuquerque, every Monday night hosting the Robot Laser Monday Mic. We host all the best local comics here in Albuquerque. Stifle your Snickers. They are really good. There's a lot of funny people here, and if you guys come through Albuquerque, you guys should definitely check that night out.
Awesome, dude.
Thank you so much. You guys are great. I look forward to more great content from you guys. You guys take care.
You too, brother.
Have a good one, man.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Later, bro.